All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Thanks for staying up late. Kayla said she was just about to go to bed, so let me speed through this. Again, the big tragedy tonight on October 1st, 2022 is a stampede at an Indonesian football game when the hometown team was upset 3-2. And the first thing I saw when I heard about this headline is I wonder what the score of the game was. I wonder if the score was 3-2. And after looking into it, sure enough, the score was 3-2. And the reason I had a suspicion that might be the score is for the reason of what I talked about this morning when I talked about what happened 5 years ago today. The mass shooting in Las Vegas where they said the shooter was on the 32nd floor, kind of like 3-2. Again, today's the 274th day of the year. The Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator, has a gematria of 274. And the letters for Isus Hominum Salvator are in their logo, which is the sun, which has 32 sun rays on it. So the 274th day of the year has a connection to the number 32 through the Jesuits. And again, it's not arbitrary that their motto sums to 274 in gematria. The Catholic Church, who the Jesuits serve, have celebrated the sun's birthday since 274 AD. And there's more to say about that, but again, just the same combination we talked about this morning, now on the 274th day of the year, a new tragedy on this day in a 3-2 upset match. The home team losing provoked the crowd is the story which led to the deadly stampede. And here's what else pops out about this. There is the whole 129-201 thing that I'm actually going to skip over for now because I talk about 201 so much. Just like I was saying in Vegas, it was at the Jason Aldean concert, which equals 201. Of course, tonight they're coding 201 in the headline about the story. But anyway, and again, the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting, if you didn't know, it was the 32nd floor. You're welcome to look it up. But notice how in gematria, if you're new here, there are 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with numerology. Stampede and football are the exact same in all 4 ciphers, okay? The country right now, this coming December 27th, will be the anniversary of them becoming an independent nation that is Indonesia. And notice today is 87 days before that date, and Malang, Indonesia equals 187. Again, what we're doing tonight is what we always do, decode the keywords, look at the key dates, how it syncs up with the place that it is. In this case, it's Indonesia. But also, you could say, well, they declared their independence, though, on a different date, August 17th, 1945, in the year 45, right? And from August 17th, the anniversary to today, October 1st, is 45 days. And again, where Malang, Indonesia is 87, Ritual is 45. And again, it's clear that the Catholic Church and the Jesuits are what they began as, a pagan sun-worshipping cult where ritual sacrifice is, a custom in some pagan sects. And again, just the perfection. Again, these people are a well-oiled machine. Is it spiritual dark magic? Possibly. Are there agent provocateurs there to help start the stampede? Is the story being exaggerated? I mean, there's a lot of things that could be going on, but the rituals are constantly perfect. And again, if you're new here, the number 129 is the number 201 in base 8 counting. Again, the video I put out earlier today about the October 1st Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting on the day, leaving 91 days left in the year at the Jason Aldean concert, where Jason Aldean's 201 and the shooting was from the 32nd floor. It's the same combination of numbers. And again, all of those numbers relate to the Jesuit logo as well, because it has the sun with 32 sun rays, like how today scores 3-2. 5 years ago, it was the shooting from the 32nd floor. Again, it's the 274th day of the year. Isus Hominum Salvator equals 274. The letters in the Jesuits logo with the 32 sun rays, IHS for Isus Hominum Salvator. And then there's 3 nails also in the logo that represent triclavianism. That's a word that equals 201. So these elements of the logo tie in perfectly with these rituals that are tragedies. And if it's the state that's orchestrating these events, again, let me point this out. Triclavianism has the gematria of 201. Again, we're talking about the Jesuit Order's logo, the Jesuit Order 201. Notice how capital punishment is also 201. Triclavianism was the form of capital punishment by the Romans. And again, Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, 201. We're in the time of the first Jesuit pope right now, the first pope to live in Suite 201. That's Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio. So again, this 201 is a huge Jesuit trademark, and it's connected to many deaths. But you just got to ask yourself, what are the odds that I'm here on the same day for the millionth time, where my day began with teaching about a tragedy on a certain date and the numerical pattern, and then my day finished with talking about the latest tragedy with the exact same pattern, where in the morning we were talking about the historical reference. Now it's the same thing, later that day. Just so many times the same type of stuff has happened, because that's what we're teaching. This stuff is redundant, it's ritualistic, it's pattern-based, and it keeps pointing back to a certain direction. And it makes a lot of sense because, again, we're on a calendar that this is all synced up with that is credited to the Catholic Pope. And the Jesuits are a Catholic military order. And all roads lead to Rome. And the Romans controlled their people with stadiums. And here's the latest funny thing in a stadium. Sometimes it's concerts. Sometimes it's sports teams. Remember Cincinnati, they had that horrible event at their concert with the Who by the numbers, synced up with the Jesuit University. Xavier in Cincinnati, again, the tragedy happened on the anniversary of Xavier's death. But then after Cincinnati goes to the Super Bowl this year, ritualistically, the Who from Britain returns to Cincinnati. And again, the Super Bowl, where the Queen City loses, was synced up with the Queen's death. And then the Queen did die on the first day of the next NFL season start, where the other Queen City, Buffalo, won. Anyway, world events being orchestrated, being influenced. Is it magic? Is it other things like agent provocateurs? Again, is it a combination of both? Is it exaggerated and just contrived story? The point is, all of this stuff that they bombard us with day after day is ritualistic, and these people are psychopaths. By the way, about the whole 32 thing, there was a goal scored in the 32nd minute of this game, and it was scored by Leo. And again, in the most simple cipher, look at the gematria Leo. 32, right? 3-2. 32 sun rays. So I think I got all the main points out there, but you just got to say, what are the odds? 87 years before the independence anniversary in Malang, Indonesia. And in the story, I just want you to see the wording, because it's like, I normally don't do things like this, but the way they wrote it in the story, they said, it happened at a match in the city of Malang in East Java. So they wrote it like that, Malang in East Java. So I just took that phrase to see what that equaled. That equaled 102, right? And this happens on the eve of October 2nd. The NFL football games will be played on 10-2 this Sunday. But the leader of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, from his 61st birthday, born in 61, there's a magic number, to today was 102 days after his birthday. And the location, Malang in East Java, is also 102. So 102 days after the leader's birthday. You could also say it's his 103rd day of his age. It's the 103rd NFL season. Is there something that will reflect with potentially the National Football League tomorrow? I don't know of any Indonesia connection to the NFL off the top of my head, but again, sometimes these rituals, they're connected from one league to the next. So I do find it interesting that's on the eve of October 2nd, on the day of the Sunday football games. And again, it's the 103rd NFL season. You could also say not only was it 102 days after the leader of the nation's birthday, but again, it's 103rd day of his age. And Yeah, there might be something more to think about with all that. So East Java, for the record, has gematria. East Java has gematria 56 and 79, like Society of Jesus, and Arema FC. Those are the people who rioted. There's some interesting numbers with Arema FC. It's 29 and 43. Again, those numbers are in Stampede and football as well. And they said it was their fans that were responsible. And Arema FC also has the 47. So anyway, we'll keep it short and sweet so you guys can get some sleep. But yeah, just the certain number pairings, the Jesuits, their logo, their symbols. There's a rhyme and a reason to it all. Again, the Jesuits share the motto Ad Merum Dei Gloriam with the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite. So the numbers are not arbitrary. All right, Truth Seeker, we'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your night. Or if you're in the other part of the world, have a good day. And yeah, they did have the number 127 earlier. They could keep counting up, but they've stayed on 129 for a minute. So we'll leave it there, and until next time.